Hello and welcome to Bite-Sized Warcraft. Today we'll be talking about Brakenspore and Highmaul for the Warlords of Draenor. For this fight we brought 4 healers, 2 tanks, and 9 DPS. Now this is a flexible style raid, so you can bring however many players you want, but we like to keep our healers at 1 for every 5 people plus 1. During this fight you'll have to deal with Creeping Moss. Now Creeping Moss does, well, exactly what it sounds like. The moss creeps along the ground and grows larger and larger at a more rapid pace as the fight goes on. If a player stands in the creeping moss, it will do a small amount of damage and slow the movement speed of the player. If the boss stands in the moss, it will heal him, and no one wants that. So what's the answer to the unintentional first aid to the boss? Flamethrowers, of course. 2 players will pick up a flamethrower and burn away the moss. There will be a special action button used to activate it and a heat indicator. If the flamethrower overheats, it causes a cooldown, much like the cannons on the boat in ICC. It's important to note that this room is quite large, and while the flamethrowers are active, you won't be able to use any of your active abilities. So choose a player with a large amount of flat speed. We used a Ret Pally and a Resto Shaman in Ghost Wolf form, but we've also used a Feral Druid in Cat form, and all worked quite well. Just remember that your player's normal roll will suffer due to this job, as it lasts the whole fight. There are 4 types of mushrooms in this fight, 2 good, 2 bad. The first bad mushroom is the Mind Fungus, which reduces the cast speed by 75% in its area of effect, so you want to kill it as quickly as possible. We had our melee do it, but ranged can, provided they move out of the range of its attack first. The second bad mushrooms are the Spore Shooters. They are basically nuisance ads that do a small amount of damage to random targets. While they should be killed, all other ads are higher priority. Now for the good mushrooms. When the good mushrooms spawn, they will immediately begin to decay, so your healers will need to try and keep them alive. Once a mushroom has reached its full health, it will bloom, activating its ability, and will continue to decay at a faster and faster rate until you can no longer keep it alive, but try to keep it up as long as possible. The first good mushroom is the Rejuvenating Mushroom. When activated, this mushroom increases haste by 30% and increases mana regen significantly. This boss has a tight enrage in that the moss will eventually overtake you, so you want to keep these mushrooms up as long as possible because your DPS are really gonna need it. The second good mushroom is called Living Mushroom. You guessed it, it keeps you living. When activated, it will heal all targets within 20 yards for 25k heals per second. We chose to blow the blue mushrooms immediately, but save these green mushrooms and timed them with the boss's ability Infesting Spores. Infesting Spores is an ability that's raid-wide and unavoidable. The boss will put a dot on you and continue to add stacks of this dot up to 10 stacks. The first few stacks do not hurt a lot, but once everyone in the raid has gotten higher stacks, it hurts a ton. So we try to activate our green mushroom for when he's about to cast this ability. The tanks will want to pull the boss to these good mushrooms so that the whole raid can gain their benefits. He will do an ability called Necrotic Breath, which is a frontal cone ability, so the boss should not be pointed at the raid. You will also be getting stacks of Rot. These should be taunted off at about 4 stacks. The tank not currently tanking the boss will want to pick up the Fungal Flesh Eater. This ad gets stronger the longer he is up, and his ability Decay will cast more frequently. This ability should be interrupted, and this ad should be the top priority to kill. On occasion, we did have to choose between the blue and green mushrooms. For our group, it was better to choose the blue mushroom, but we did have to pop multiple healing cooldowns for his Infesting Spores. On this fight, there's no particular time that you need to pop Heroism or Bloodlust, but we chose to pop it off the start, just so that everybody was still alive and we didn't have to change targets for the ads. You can pop it whenever you need to. An important reminder, while the tanks want to pull the boss to the mushrooms, they need to be sure not to pull him into or through the moss. The flamethrower people also need to be sure to keep the mushrooms free of moss so that the boss can be pulled close to them. That's it for our video of Brakenspore. I hope you liked it. If you did, please hit the like and the subscribe button and check back often for more bite-sized Warcraft.